If you are married to a narcissist or you're still married to a narcissist, listen up. Or if you're planning to be married to a narcissist that you know now that he's a narcissist, but you believe God can change him, so you still want to go ahead and marry him. Even though I think you should abort mission, but I know you will not listen, so just listen up. They are never going to change. No matter what happens, they will not change. So just in case you've left the relationship and maybe because of family interventions and he's been begging and other things, you went back to the narcissist, here's what you should expect. That person is not going to change. For a while, he's going to behave himself because he really does not know your next move, or he actually wants you to be he wants you to be comfortable again. Once you get to the point of comfortability around him and you're now open again and willing to love him and try again, then they will strike again. The only thing is, this second time is going to be bad. It will be worse than the first time. The first time, he's been treating you badly because he believes you will not leave him. Don't forget that narcissists target their victims. Yeah, they have studied you carefully. They know more about you than you even think you know yourself. They actually took their time to choose you. You did not choose them, they chose you. If you have left them before and you came back, just know that that action of you leaving them is very triggering to them because they did not believe that you would ever leave them, but you did. It depends on the degree of narcissism that the person has. The person can be extremely dangerous up to the point of taking your life. Because you do not know the degree of how dangerous they can get, there's no need for you to be trading with a lion that you don't know if the teeth are still intact. In as much as the way a person treats you is what is important to you, you have to understand that the way they treat you is determined by how they perceive you in their mind. So the mind of a person is the most important thing to know a person. But since you don't live in a person's mind, you would have to trade with the most caution ever. In their minds, they believe that they own you. In their minds, they believe they have authority over you, and there is no reason why you should leave them. You see how when narcissistic men begin to talk about why they feel they have the right to abuse the people they are married to, they will tell you that I married her, she's living in my house. If she does not want that, go to her father's house. I paid her bride price. I can send her back to her father's house. Emphasis on I paid her bride price when African narcissists are telling you that. Just know that it is never about the bride price. That bride price was never an issue for them, and it will never be an issue. They are just using it to tell you that they have ownership of you. White people don't pay bride price, but the result of narcissism they experience is the same as the ones in Africa experience. So it has gotten to the heads of a lot of women who say the person paid my bride price. That paying of bride price does not mean shit. Even if they don't pay your bride price, the result will still be the same. If you've ever heard anything they say Abuja marriage, those women who the husbands did not pay their bride price, they just moved in maybe because they were pregnant and they just started living together as husband and wife. They still experience the same thing as the ones who they've paid their bride price. Now, if you return to them after fleeing from them for the first time, they know that you are a dog that has teeth in your mouth as well now. So they will want to trade with caution as well. And they will also have plans for you in their heads. And those plans are what you don't know. So that is why it is dangerous for you to return to a narcissist. And honestly, if you return, don't feel guilty, because there are so many women who would return. They can even leave like 5 to 7 times before they finally leave. But here is the thing. You don't know if leaving and returning, you don't know how it will trigger the person and what he will do to you before you get the chance to finally get to number 5 or number 7. So the action and your own safety is what your problem is right now. You don't know how safe you are. You may not be lucky to have the opportunity to go and return up to that 5 to 7 times. So if you can, as much as you can, if you leave, don't return. When you return like that, one thing they know is that you have resources. So which means initially they did not tighten you enough. That is why you were able to leave them for the first time. So if you have a source of income, they will try as much as possible to sabotage that this second time so that you'll be solely reliant on them. The second thing is they know that you have family who would help you, so maybe friends or families. So let's assume you left them and you had support from your friends. They would want to sabotage that relationship so that you would not have that support again. You must have told them something in confidence about your friend. They can try to tell the person that, see, a lot of them can be psychotic. Some of them can go as far as harming that your friend that was a support to you. They would want you, and don't forget, if a friend has offered you support when you are trying to leave a narcissist, when you go back to that narcissist, they will try to stay away from you. The reason is because they feel like you're putting their lives at risk, of which you are actually. Next thing is they will try to sabotage your relationship with your family. So when they go to meet your family members to take you back, they will say a lot of things, and the way, don't forget, they are very manipulative. So they will manipulate your family to believe that even you are in the wrong in some of the things that is causing them problems. So sometimes, as angry as your family were with them, when they come to discuss like this, you hear them say things later. You hear when they explain to their family, if to your family what happens, you hear your family will now start giving you a portion in the blame. Then they will tell you that let it not look as if they are only supporting you because they are not your son. Listen, your family does not know anything about narcissistic abuse. That's one thing you should understand, especially our parents. They don't know much about this. They've not studied about it. They just kind of think it is the person's behavior, or the person just made a mistake. So when the person comes like that, it is easier to manipulate our parents into believing that they didn't mean any harm. And also, you have to understand that most of our parents are religious, and because of that religious inclination, they tend to be very forgiving, because religion preaches forgiveness and religion kicks against divorce. And because religion kicks against divorce, our parents feel like if we divorce our partners and come back home, it is embarrassing to them. So our parents also have an image they are trying to protect, so they do not necessarily have your best interest at heart. Our parents usually use their children as a symbol of pride within the society. A lot of them must have bragged to their friends that all my daughters are married. They might have laughed at one of their friends that your children are divorced. Maybe they had a fight with their friend. They can say your children that did not stay in marriage, that they've come out of their marriages because you are a bad parent. Because of that, they are ashamed whenever you come up with the same problem and you are willing to leave that man. They would not want you to do it because they feel like their friends will laugh at them in return. People will make them a mocking stock in the society. Listen, as much as we believe that our parents are selfless and they love us yet, yes, but they may not love us right. Because of socialization and certain things, they may not love us right. If you remember the story of Osinachi, it was alleged that she actually ran back home at a point. But when family members intervened and church also intervened, allegedly, they said that was why she came back. They alleged that she ran for like 2 or 3 years before she came back to the marriage. Look at what happened. Narcissists have no respect for anybody, not even their family, not your family, not a religious person. They don't have respect for absolutely no one. So repeating, don't think they fear that your family members. So sometimes you hear somebody say, a man cannot do that to me because my brother will do this, my father will do this, your father will not do anything, your brother will not do anything. They will do that to you and nothing will happen. Do you understand? Because the highest thing that can happen is that the law eventually catches up with them, of which the law in most cases does not catch up with them. And even if the law catches up with them or your family members are able to defend you, it still does not change the fact that you experience what you experience and you still have to deal with that trauma. Now, another thing that I need to point your attention to is this. When you come back to a narcissist like that, you understand that any device you have, such as your phone, is an important thing for them. It's possible they had cloned your phone without your knowledge. You will not know. So they know that you must have sent messages to somebody to get help. They can clone your messages. So when you are trying to escape again, whatever it is you're planning, they can know and be quiet. So whatever you're planning, you plan discreetly, and you may look for a safer place to keep your evidence. Look for a safe place to keep your evidence, not on your phone that you live with in the same house with them, not on your devices that you live in the same house with them, because they might have your password without you knowing. They can go through your messages without you knowing. They can go through your conversations without you knowing. So in as much as you think they do not have access to your phone, there is a possibility that they have access to your phone. So whatever it is you're planning, they are aware. So they will outsmart you, or they will outplan you. If you have kids with them, it makes your situation worse, because you might have to be running away from them all your life. They can try as much as possible, whatever it is, whether the law, they can use those children to frustrate you. As long as they've not gotten a new victim that will give you rest, you will not rest, except you actually are far apart from, away from them, where they cannot reach you, of which you have to be careful. These people are not mentally okay. If you don't have kids with them, that's a blessing. Don't even try to have kids with them. If you know that you started this run and come back, run and come back, don't try it again. Because one thing is, children binds people by force. It is not by choice. Because legally, children need their both parents. And one thing that is almost impossible is a healthy co-parenting relationship with a narcissist. You cannot co-parent with them. They will sabotage you. They will manipulate your children. They would raise your children badly, and there is nothing you can do about it. If you don't have children with them, it's even better. It's easy for you to run away from them as soon as they find someone else that they are abusing. At first, they can tell you that whatever they are doing to you is because they don't have kids, so they are frustrated. But that is a lie. If you have children with them, it makes it worse, because they become even more irritated by you, because you now have to share your time with your children, of which they do not want that. These people get jealous of their children as well, and they do not care about their children the way you think they do. They don't care about those children. Anything can happen to those children. I promise you, they care less. The only thing is that they know that you have a tie to those children, so they want to use those children to keep you under their claws. If you're financially comfortable, that is even better for you. But if you're not financially comfortable, it's going to be extremely hard. But if you're financially comfortable, it's better to stay away from them. Now that you're back into the house, if they discover that you're trying to leave, and they know that you're financially comfortable, so you can leave and you will be fine without them, they can go the extra mile. Listen, and when you leave, eventually they will tarnish your image. I know that sometimes after family have intervened and they've manipulated your family, they would want to, you would feel guilty about coming back to just leave them, when it's not like they were physically abusive to you again. But sometimes you can be dealing with whatever it is they have done to you mentally and emotionally, so it can make you irritated by them, and you're finding it difficult to love them again. Just leave, because what that will do to you is, remaining with them will now make you to want to be avenging what they did to you. And because of that, you are now going to look like the narcissistic one, because you will begin to pick up on their traits. Whatever they did to you was registered in your mind. Somehow, your human nature will want to revenge. So you will end up looking like the narcissistic one. It's better to just leave. Even a narcissistic person, the first thing you're going to need is go to therapy. Because that abuse, the thing with narcissistic abuse is that it has cost you a lot that you do not know it has cost you. So you would go to therapy so that you can uproot those things. And when you're going to a therapist, better go to a therapist that knows what they are doing. Be careful with the therapist you're choosing, because a lot of them,